I'm Veer Mahajan, and in this video I'm going to talk about substitution. Substitution is basically when you're able to solve equations like these with two different variables. But before we start off, you should probably know that it's pretty impossible to find, actually there are infinite amount of solutions for equations like these with two different variables, but just with two different variables. Because over here, for example, the x and the y could each be 10, which would make 20 plus 30, which is 50. And there could also be another value for x and y, where y is 0 and x is 25. That would be 2 times 25, which is 50, plus 3 times 0, which is 0, and then that becomes 50. So when you're using substitution, you have to have two different equations like this. So that's your first equation. And then your second equation is like x minus y equals 0, something like that. And I'll start off with a pretty easy example, but hopefully you'll be able to understand the concept, and maybe I'll do a harder example a bit later in this video. So what you want to do first in substitution is you want to try to get this equation into just one variable. So in this case, let's just try to do it into one variable, which is y. To do that, we need to figure out what x is in terms of a constant like 0 and a variable like y. So x minus y, so if we add y to each of the sides, the equation won't change, right? Because these are equal. So by adding 10 to each side, it's still going to be equal. So we'll add y to each side, and that will be x minus y plus y, and that's pretty easy because the negative y and the positive y will cancel out. And then if we add something to one side, we have to add it to the other. We added y there, so we'll add y over here. And actually what that gives us is basically just 0 plus y. And since it's 0 plus y, that's the same as y. So that makes it really easy for us right away. And guess what we've gotten here? We figured out that x is the same as y. And now since x is the same as y, we can just replace that x over there with a y, because x and y both have the same values, and we're multiplying them by 2 here, so they'll have the same value. So 2y plus 3y is 50. And now 2y plus 3y is 5y, right? Because it's like y plus y, which is 2y, plus y plus y plus y, which is 3y. So now we have 5y equals 50. And that shows us, after we divide each side by 5 to just single out y, we get y equals 10. And now we just have to figure out x. And let's go back to our original equation, or let's actually go back to when we realized that x equals y. If x equals y, then y is the same as x, and that simplifies everything, because now we can make x also 10. X equals 10. And now you just want to make sure, you can go back to your original equation. I know I changed it, but if you rewind in the video, the original equation was 2x plus 3y, 2x plus 3y. And by inputting these new values for the variables, we get 2 times 10 plus 3 times 10, that's the x, that's the y, so 3 times y, which is 10. We get 50 because that's 20 there, plus that's a 30, and 20 plus 30 is 50. Okay, so that was a pretty easy example, and this time I'll quickly work through kind of a bit harder one. So 3y plus 2x equals 20, and I'll try to take small numbers here. Y plus x equals 5. Now what we do here, again, we try to just single out one of these variables and try to get it in terms of the other variable and a constant like 5, or just like another variable. So it was y plus x, yeah. So we'll subtract x from this side and from this side. we get 5 minus x, because there was a y plus x, then we subtracted an x, so that just the x's cancel out. So basically now what we have is y equals 5 plus x, 5 minus x, 5 minus x, and we can input that over there in the 3y. So 3, and now instead of y, we substitute that for 5 minus x. So I hope you see what I'm getting at. Plus 2x equals 20. Then we multiply, so 15 minus 3x plus 2x equals 20. We can simplify that. 15 minus 3x plus 2x is just 15 minus x equals 20. Now what we do is we subtract 15 from this side and from this side to just leave the x over there, the negative x. So minus 15 minus 15. And now what we have is, oops, I'm running out of space. Negative x equals 5. Negative x equals 5. And now we can just multiply each side by negative 1 if you want. So negative 1 times negative x, 5 times negative 1. The negative 1 and the negative x just become become x. And the 5 times the negative 1 is negative 5. So now we have x equals negative 5. Okay, that's good. And now we have to find y. Y is just simply 5 minus x. So that's 5 minus negative 5. And it just becomes 5 plus 5 in the end. Y equals 5 plus 5, and y is 10. Y equals 10. So 3 times 10 plus 2 times negative 5 equals 20. And that is true, because 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. 30 minus 10 is 20. And that is 20 equals 20. And that is true. So thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something from this.
Bye. Thank you for watching.